feels like a nightmare that is painful me, 'cause nobody wants to die too fast. Remember daily, now it's changed for me. I can see your face, I can hear your voice. Remember daily, and it's painful me, 'cause nobody wants to die too fast. Remember daydream, and it's painful me. I can see your face, I can hear your voice.
Levi Ackerman was born to Kuchko Ackerman in the underground, but would be orphaned at a young age after his mother would pass away. But on the same date, Levi would be approached by Kuchko's older brother, Kenny Ackerman, who would take the boy in and would train him in blaze skills. But it'll also be around the same time where he would awaken his inner powers that he possessed as a member of the Ackerman family. But one day during a street fight, Kenny would abandon Levi, seeing that he's not cut out as a guardian. Sometime later, Levi will eventually become acquainted with Ferlin Church, who will be amazed by the boy's skill, where the two would start getting together. After some time with his formed gang, a client of his would sweeten the deal to allow them to live on the surface if they succeeded. Shortly after their heist begins, they would be pursued by more than the usual military police. Noticing the wings of freedom, the trio would split up, where he would fight the scout member, Nikkei Zacharias, until their fight would be interrupted by Commander Erwin Smith. Levi would engage with Erwin until the commander will allow him to stop and look to see that his recruits Isabel and Ferlin had been captured. Forcing to surrender, Levi would be interrogated by Erwin, who would offer a deal for the three to join the scouts, but if they refuse, then he will hand them over to military police. Levi will accept the deal, but this is actually part of his plan for their mission, was to acquire a document in Erwin's possession and kills the commander. During the expedition, Levi's friends will be killed by an abnormal tyrant. Enraged by this revolution, Levi would be approached by Erwin Smith, who would lash out him, but Erwin would reveal that he knew about his plans and the document is already out of his hands. In the year 850, Levi was staying in the scout regiment after returning to Wall Rose to the Tross district after the 56th scouting mission. Levi would save Erwin's group during the 57th expedition. The scouts would be attacked by the female Titan, where Levi would attempt to extract the user from the nape, but would quickly find out that the Titan can harden skin with a crystal-like armor. The female Titan would turn out to be a bit too much for the scouts to handle. As a result, would take out a number of Levi's teammates and nearly succeeded in capturing Aaron, but he managed to save him after slicing through the Titan's facial muscles. After the operation in the Sawdust district, despite the failed attempt at trying to apprehend Annie, Levi selects a number of the scout regiment recruits to join his squad, where he assigns them to protect Aaron and Historia, an isolated cabin, but will be forced to evacuate by sunset due to them being pursued by the military police. After taking everyone to the Tross district, while on the rooftops with his partner Nifa, Kenny would ambush the two, taking out Nifa. Despite Levi taking out a number of Kenny's men, Aaron and Historia would be taken. Levi would take his squad to a chapel where a door would lead them to the underground. During the battle, Levi would be ambushed by Kenny, but after an intense fight, Levi would be successful in injuring Kenny, forcing him to retreat. After returning to the ruins of the chapel, after Rod Rice transformed to his Titan form, Levi would find Kenny severely injured, who would hand Levi a Titan serum, who would reveal it to Erwin, but would entrust it to Levi. When he and his squad would attempt to retake Walmaria, Reiner would be discovered by one of the scouts, where Levi would attack him, but would survive his assault and transform. Erwin would give his life for Levi to take down the Beast Titan, whose user would be revealed to be Zeke Yeager, but Zeke would be saved after being taken away by the Cart Titan. Afterwards, Levi would take part in the infiltration of Marley, where he would fight Zeke again in his Titan form. This time, Levi would be successful in discreetly transporting Zeke onto the airship, but due to Aaron's action, Levi would beat him up before arresting him for making Paradise Island a target. After returning to the city with Zeke, Zeke would make a break for it, but before Levi could react, Zeke would let out a scream that would transform his men into Titans. After disposing his turned scout members, Levi would engage with Zeke, but after a prolonged fight of gaining the upper hand, Zeke would pull the pin on the Thunder Spear lodged in his gut, detonating it, but Levi would be unable to react in his caught in explosion, and his current fate is unknown. Well, what's up, Winter here, and welcome to my first character showcase, where I'll be going over humanity's strongest soldier, Levi Ackerman, by using the verse series format. And as for my resources, I won't be sticking to the animation and the manga, but I won't be taking any elements from the DAO books or the games. And with that out of the way, let's start with his physical capabilities. By the time we last see Levi, he would likely be in his 30s, staying around 5'2". Due to him being his team's captain, there is no misunderstanding that Levi would keep himself in great shape. He's knocked out Aaron's tooth with a single kick, sliced apart a Titan while in rage, and momentary blade lock with Kenny. Speed-wise, he's dodged gunfire fired at him from different directions, slashed apart powerful Titans such as the female and Beast Titan faster than they could react, and can even move faster than regular scout cadets could keep track of. As far as durability goes, despite being a peak human, Levi can take a beating. He powered through having his ankle sprained and continued fighting the female Titan. Even Zen seemed unfazed by it. Survived a Thunder Spear explosion with only his eye missing. So while no glass cannon, Levi in terms of durability should be above average, but is no means a human tank, and will easily be put down with a well-placed slash or impoundment. Stamina wise, much like powerful cadets such as Aaron and Mikasa, Levi can fight for prolonged periods of time with short breaks needed. And speaking of which, Levi's only limit is when he momentarily held back Mikasa before being overpowered. However, take note that Levi was worn down and was noticeably exhausted at the time after defeating the Beast Titan. Levi has up to 2 pieces of equipment. Just like all cadets, he doesn't go on any expedition or into combat without his ODM gear. His ODM gear consists of a pair of grapple hooks that are powered by 2 gas canisters. His ODM gear also consists a total of 6 blades that are sharp enough to slice through the flesh of Titans with ease, but are pretty weak against tough material, and the blades themselves tend to get dull pretty quickly. Levi also has a small amount of Thunder Spears that delivers devastating explosions. However, his only showings of them were used against the Beast and Armored Titans. Just like all other characters that use bladed weapons, I'll be using Star Wars lightsaber fine forms to better analyze and illustrate a combatant's approach to combat. Due to growing up in the underground, Levi would be trained in hand-to-hand combat. Seeing how all cadets are trained to disarm and subdue an opponent implies that cadets would be trained in Krav Maga, a self-defense martial art designed to take down both armed and unarmed opponents quickly and effectively. Due to being an Ackerman, Levi awoken his dormant power when he was much more younger, and from that point on, he knew exactly what to do in any combat situation. When it comes to his blade skills, Levi would use Form 4 Taru and Form 6 Neomon. Form 4, known as the aggression form, consists of both acrobatic maneuvers and aggression. However, the form isn't best used in close quarters combat. Form 6 trains a user to use their both blade and force abilities, or in this case, Levi's blade and equipment. As tactician, Levi is a calm calculating strategist and has shown on multiple occasions to make calculated decisions in the heat of a battle. When facing normal opponents, Levi is quick on his feet to cut down his opponents with high speeds. But when facing Titans, he shows no mercy at slicing them apart with high speeds. However, unlike most sword wielders, Levi's style is different. Due to being trained by Kenny, Levi's variation consists of a reverse grip inspired by Kenny's training, to tank in a circular motion, to maintain high agility and speed, to take out multiple targets simultaneously while conserving his stamina and strength. Levi, without doubt, is indeed humanity's strongest soldier in his own universe. But when stepping out of his element, Levi is anything but impressive, since most characters have the firepower needed to take him out, the training necessary to overpower him, or even better, the physical abilities needed to outlast him. So, to put it blunt, I can't see Levi going anywhere past B tier. Starting off small with the Persona characters, which really depends on how the fight opens up. If Yusuke or Yosuke summons their Persona, then I find it hard for Levi to pull off a win, since he doesn't have the physical performance needed to dodge their elemental spells. But if they engage in close quarters, then Levi could theoretically beat them. Adachi is one that Levi would be able to beat, since he would try to shoot Levi down. But I can't see Levi defeating Mercer or Delson, since they were going for a kill right away, and on top of that, their abilities would be a bit too much for him. I really can't see Levi defeating V, since his summons would be a bit too much for him to handle. But if timed properly, he could take out Griffin and Shadow with a well-placed Thunder Spear. But this can all be done by Nightmare, which would also one-shot him right away. And as far as I know, Thunder Spears are nowhere even close to dealing out the amount of damage that Urizen could dish out. And his Thunder Spears would just piss off Nightmare, if I'm being honest. I really can't see Levi being a threat to the Ruby or Naruto characters. So the captain's best fight would be the Final Fantasy characters. Gladiolus is one that could really go either way, but I see Levi taking this one, since Gladio does have the firepower and the defense needed to keep him at bay, but Levi would be slightly above Gladio as an overall tactician. In essence, it would be similar to Gladio's fight with Gilgamesh, but in the opposite outcome. By the latter end, Gladio would be taken out by a well-placed precision slash or a well-timed Thunder Spear. Levi would put up a good fight against Orin, but I see Orin taking this one after powering him down enough, or if Orin hits him with one of his overdrive attacks if timed properly. And just not to waste anyone's time, I don't see Levi being Sephiroth, Zack, Genesis, or Cloud, since their enhancements would be a bit too much for Levi to handle, and would just have the firepower to put him down. But out of all these, I only see Levi consistently being two characters, John Arc and Cypher, since John doesn't have the firepower needed to take Levi out, while Cypher, despite having the firepower, won't be able to take Levi out due to functions of his Final Fantasy limit breakers, and that he's just not physically fit to face Levi in a head-to-head engagement. So that leaves Levi on the bottom section of B tier, just above Cypher. And that'll do for this character showcase. Let me know if I may have overlooked something, or even if you think that the captain of the scout regiment has some techniques that allow him to be ranked higher. With that said, I'm going to go. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter if you care about that, and I'll see y'all next time.